Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to our webinar presented by AxxonSoft, Intel, and Seagate. My name is Duncan. I am a regional sales director for AxxonSoft, and I'll be presenting today, as well as Kasia, Valorie, and Jason. Kasia, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Okay, great. Hi, everyone. And I'm responsible for T group, responsible for our video ecosystem development, as well as smart city. So happy to be here with you guys today.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Valorie, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Great, thank you so much. My name is Val Windsor. I'm responsible for video surveillance at Seagate for North America. And I'm really excited to be part of the webinar today with AxxonSoft and Intel.
Awesome, thank you. And Jason, also from Seagate, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Thank you. My name is Jason Benoan, Product Marketing Manager for both NAS and Surveillance Solutions.
Awesome, awesome. We really appreciate you guys joining us, and we enjoy the partnership that we have with you guys, and look forward to the continued success that we're having as a team. So we deeply appreciate it. So moving forward, it's sticking on me here. Technology, don't you love technology? So never fails. Never fails.
Yep.
So here at AxxonSoft, we've been around since 1996, and we have over 50 global offices, 500 employees, and we have over 13,000 customers in more than 140 countries. That's over 480,000 projects. And our company has over 30 patents to ourselves. We've been disrupting the technology industry and the security industry for over 25 years. Like any efficient surveillance system, it includes VMS, servers, hardware, storage, so on, all the infrastructure that it takes to run a VMS solution. With that being said, if you're talking about the intelligence of a system, in a particular about AI, video, and analytics, to be an effective VMS solution, you got to be able to receive the metadata from the cameras. That is the analytics based on the camera. And being able to do that allows you to add more cameras to your system. And utilizing, obviously, with our partners at Intel and everybody else, it allows us to add more cameras to each server and so on and so forth. And also, when you're utilizing dedicated AI accelerators, CPU and GPU capabilities, and at the same time, enables you to process more video streams on one server as well. The use of high performance and reliable storage is essential for video surveillance systems. So during this global pandemic that we've been going through, I mean, there's been a lot of things going on. And at AxxonSoft, obviously, we wanted to see what we could do to, help with our artificial intelligence, machine learning, and our neural networks to help, notify people when situations were awry during this pandemic. And obviously, with the use of technology these days, we utilized our AI capabilities to do this. And as you can see in this video, we're utilizing thermal cameras, which we can utilize multiple thermal cameras from different companies to target people that have temperatures. It will do a color code change to alert somebody that somebody is coming in with a temperature or whatever the case may be. As you see here, the neural network is detecting social distancing. These two individuals are not staying 6 feet apart, so it alerts, as well as face mask detection. It will alert when somebody's not wearing a face mask and send it to the proper security individuals. So as well with our AI behavior analytics, you can see multiple things here. As the gentleman goes to the ground, it can alert somebody that somebody's, person down, whether that be for whatever reason to alert security. You can also detect whether people are kneeling in front of an ATM per se, because somebody's kneeling in front of an ATM, they're probably tampering. as well arm raised. So if somebody walks in with a gun and they got their arms raised, it can alert the proper security officials to allow somebody to respond, as well queuing. So multiple reasons for queuing. If you get too many people in an area, could mean multiple things. Could be, I'm counting, sorry. Could be a fight in progress, could be, too many people online, whatever the case may be. And then simple things, we have developed this handrail holding concept for a customer to ensure that safety and protocol and procedures are being met. And that could be to satisfy OSHA or whatever the case may be. So moving forward with the AI human detection, when we're detecting humans, I mean, you think about it, with traditional security systems, 99% of your, crimes are committed by humans. I mean, you might have that one angry stray dog or whatever that may commit one or whatever, but it's not very likely. So when detecting humans, as you can see on the left, this is your normal typical security system. You see all the false positives. You see the trees blowing in the background, shadows triggering everything else. And with the AI human detection, it's just getting the humans. Here's another unique detection system. The door on the left there is not to be gone into, it's to be triggered. And you saw the person go in there, it triggered it. And here's another one that was a wildlife preserve. So on the wildlife preserve, obviously we don't want the rhinos to be tripping the security system. We want it to be tripping on the humans. And this is another wildlife reserve. So obviously a human in the area is being detected as the deer and the other animals are not tripping it, as well as the traffic. And human detection is very difficult with thermal detection, but we do it very well. So as you see with the cars moving and other things moving in the background, it's just detecting that one human. So same scenario, everything else with in the thermal detection realm. Like I said, it can be very hard to detect, but we do it very well. Our neural network takes advantage of pixel segmentation and actually delivers at a 96% accuracy. So here we're going to see unique. So we can use this for other things just besides, human detection and everything else. Here we're going to do occupancy. So especially during this time, during this pandemic, counting people in and out. I mean, I know here in Texas, it's been up and down. You could have 50% occupancy, 75% occupancy, so on and so forth. So what it does is it can actually count and monitor how many people are within the building. So if you're allowed 50 people, when it gets to 50 people, it can actually light a sign saying nobody else in. Now, if somebody was to leave that building, it can say, okay, we can accept one more person. So it allows you very quickly to, be able to control that. Here we had a customer that wanted to be able to count propane tanks. And so we had our neural network learn what a propane tank was and the ability to count those as they were moving forward down the line. So monitoring parking time as well. I mean, this is another thing that AxxonSoft does very well. And the ability, for AxxonSoft to create these, artificial intelligence and analytics to help our customers out is phenomenal globally. I mean, that's one reason why we've been growing and been so successful. But monitoring parking time for a project, I mean, you can have your set parking time. So, a lot of safe cities, smart cities, so on and so forth, they want to monitor whether somebody's parked too long or whatnot to dispatch police. Here we actually have where they're using it in a rail yard, using these wheels to detect how long they've been on the line, on the vibration belt, so on and so forth. So we can utilize our neural network to learn multiple different objects to help our customers move forward through their security needs. So here we got, actually this camera is mounted on a drone. And as you can see, even though the drone's in the air and the scene's moving, it's able to count the cars accurately. So, for them to, I mean, just the ROI on having to send somebody out to count individual cars is crazy. So the ability to have a drone fly over and count the cars for the company is saving them a ton of money and man hours and so on and so forth. And here you see actual pig counting. So with all the crazy movement of the pigs and everything else, it's still accurately able to count these pigs and create an accurate report for the farmer or whatever the case may be. So you can kind of see the flexibility of AxxonSoft and what we're capable of doing with our artificial intelligence and analytics. It's truly amazing the way that the technology has been growing. And moving forward with other aspects of this, I mean, taking kind of the aspect of work environments to the next level. Obviously, it's a big concern. A lot of workplace injuries, a lot of people with non-compliance. Obviously, if, there's all these agencies that are out there doing compliance control. If somebody's not in compliance, that could mean fines, that could levy different things within the companies or the companies that are on job sites, producing stuff. So what we were able to do was create an AI that would detect whether somebody didn't have a helmet on a construction site or not. So it was able to alert. And here we got somebody that doesn't have a safety vest. And so it's able to very quickly alert the proper authorities to say, hey, you got somebody out here without a vest on. So that way, it helps protect your overhead. So when, somebody's looking at moving forward into their security, platform and looking to grow it or replace it, when you can give them instances of, you could save them potentially thousands upon thousands of dollars by protecting them from agencies and so on. It's a very powerful tool, and it can, truly pay for itself by protecting the companies from those incidents. So here we're going to show, this is a actual real world application of detecting forest fires. So the neural network was able to be trained utilizing PTZs on what smoke rising. It's able to detect the difference between fog, clouds, so on and so forth. And what it does is it uses these PTZs that are mounted high up in the air. And when multiple of those PTZs detect it, it pulls another PTZ in, and it's able to detect up to 20 miles out, but it can also pinpoint exactly where that fire's at through triangulation. So it can very quickly, obviously, we can, with the current and the former fires out in California and Colorado and everywhere else, this is a huge aspect of saving lives. So, very important to be, especially with forest fires, be early detection on fires is a huge, huge gain for anybody. So here we're going to look at our MomentQuest Smart Search. So this is the ability when you're a security operator and you're trying to find a situation, something occurred and you're trying to go back and you're looking at the video and you've got hours of video and hours of situations and so on and so forth. The ability to quickly find video is super important. The ability to get that to the authorities, to get that to the proper jurisdiction, whatever the case may be, to obviously retrieve stolen property or catch the individual that, committed the crime is huge. So what we'll see here is a live scene utilizing metadata that we received for line crossing. So within seconds, we can do a directional line crossing and pull up thumbnail searches and see which way what direction somebody crossed. So if we heard that they were headed east, we could draw the direction up in the east, boom, and populate that up. If we wanted to look for 4 individuals for say, we could actually go down into our search criteria, put in 4 individuals, and then it would just pull that up. We could even go as far as to say, okay, we want to detect, certain objects within the, scene or certain colors within a scene. So it can be a very powerful tool that you can use to very quickly, discern through situations and situational awareness. So you can quickly just go down there and say, okay, I'm curious about a red car headed this direction. How powerful a tool is that? So you can quickly go there, you can actually pull it up, see it's a red colored car headed north in the direction that you were concerned about. So the ability to very quickly jump through that video and pull that information up, you can see the huge amount of time savings that it's going to create for your, security officers, so on and so forth. So we also do face and license plate search. So with face search, this could be an individual where you actually had a picture of them, you caught them on a camera, whatever, you uploaded the picture and you wanted to see where they had been within your, either area, your community, building, whatever. You can upload that video very quickly, and the ability to search per face, obviously you can see the, the need for that. Looking for individuals that committed a crime or maybe suspected of a crime is huge, and knowing where they went, where they were at is also huge. The same with the license plate. You can do an LPR, you can do license plate searches based off the license plate number. If you got a partial, you could do a partial search. So you could actually detect when the car came, left, whatever. And there again, this is a very quick search tool to allow somebody to very quickly be able to go back through the forensics. You know, because at the end of the day, you're only as good as the tools that you're utilizing, and the ability to get results and get those results quick is obviously very important in the security world. And AxxonSoft, we deliver that perfectly. So time compressor. This is a very, very cool feature. The first time I saw this, I was blown away just by the capabilities of it and the way that it can take hours of video and put it down into minutes. So what you're seeing here is it's actually compressed all the video together where it looks like people are ghosting through each other. But what it did was it took, hours of video, brought it down, and then wherever you see the instance that you're looking for, you can click on that thumbnail, and it's going to pull up that video for you to view. So when you're looking for a certain situation, and you can compress that into minutes instead of hours, obviously, the time saving that is there is just amazing. So on the VMS metadata from the smart cameras, Axon Next supports a wide range of cameras with embedded video analytics. It can receive events from edge-based analytics and trigger an alarm. For example, when the number of people in a specified area exceeds the preferred limit, Axon also, can trigger their alarms and can do multiple things, from the scene analytics to auto zoom to tag and tracking. Obviously, utilizing all these metadata search pieces is important, when you're utilizing your system. And, limiting the CPU burden is, huge. So the way that we're structured at AxxonSoft, the metadata from the IP devices, it allows that to limit the amount of CPU usage during recording. So it's very strong capability. This is how our VMS uses metadata smart search. Axon Next supports a wide range of cameras with embedded video analytics. It can receive events from edge-based analytics to trigger alarms. For example, when the number of people in a specified area exceeds the preferred limit, Axon Next also stores the event data and links in the video feeds, which is used to search for alarm and video events. So as you can see, as it's going through this certain area here, and this is a dewarping piece as well. So utilizing the smart search and the line crossing and everything else, as we discussed earlier, is a very important tool that we use here at AxxonSoft. So server and GPU video decoding. So GPU resources utilization helps offload the server CPU. And our product, Intel Quick Sync video technology available in Intel processors, is supported for hardware decoding of H.264, H.265, and H.265 plus video streams. This is used on server side to decode video and motion detection and provide about 2 times reduction of server CPU load compared to CPU-based decoding. This way, we free up CPU resources for other tasks, such as more sophisticated analytics. Thanks to this, servers can analyze more concurrent video streams in HD resolution and even higher, and more cameras can be connected to a single server, reducing hardware expenses and support issues. So Intel Quick Sync video can be used on the client side as well. Here it is applied decoding live and recorded video with the video is displayed on the client screen. Hardware video decoding is especially expedient in time compressing mode when multiple video fragments and decode to show many moving objects in a single frame. The results are improved decoding times without burdening the CPU, which is essential for smooth playback. Obviously, utilizing Intel's OpenVINO, which OpenVINO is an amazing toolkit. If you haven't ever looked at it, you should. But the number of actual processors and everything that you would need without Intel would be just crazy. But AI analytics require sizable computing resources. Currently, if the number of camera channels exceeds 10 to 20, it's almost impossible to build cost-effective AI video surveillance. I mean, that's why it's taken years for it to get to this, realm where we're at with AI video these days. The Open Video Toolkit extends AI analytics workload across available Intel hardware, including CPU, GPU, and accelerators, maximizing performance. With the VPU and the Mustang V100 MX8 accelerator card, one such card handles 70 human detection channels. So when you got that, you can actually expand your system multiple. It depends on the power and what you're wanting to do with it, but utilizing the Intel OpenVINO and the Mustang cards is truly the power behind a lot of the AxxonSoft. So storage for AI systems is important as well. Obviously, our partnership with Seagate is great. Seagate and AxxonSoft started a cooperation in April of 2018. Everything's been going great. Obviously, we're going to hear from Valorie and Jason about the Seagate and the cooperation that we have with those guys. So with further ado, I am going to, I'll say thank you. And if we got any questions out there or whatnot, I'll be more than glad to answer those for anybody.
Hello, everyone. Lee, we have a couple of very interesting questions here. The first one would be if we develop AI in-house or work with partner companies on that. Got
you. So we do create, AxxonSoft, we do create our own AI in-house. We've got a team of engineers that are amazing. We have created everything that you've seen today. So that's all patented and owned by AxxonSoft. So that was a great question, and I appreciate it.
Okay, and I think we have some time, for another one. The question is about how precise is our AI analytics, especially, for example, when we talk about human detection.
So detecting humans, I mean, that's as I mentioned earlier, that's key because 99% of your crimes are committed by humans. So we actually detect at a 90% accuracy rate, which is amazing if you think about it. I mean, when you're dealing with traditional security and you're getting all the false positives, it almost turns your security system into a reactive security system instead of a proactive security system. So when you're dealing with large deployments or whatever the case may be, when you want your system to be a proactive system, you've got the system there, you want to catch crimes as they happen, you want to prevent property damage, you want to prevent property loss. That's the reason why you want to deploy a security system. So with that being said, detecting at 96%, and you're not detecting rhinoceroses like we saw earlier, or we're not detecting dogs or whatever, or trees or whatever the case, when we're detecting humans and we're the ability to, get that information to the proper authorities to dispatch or, take care of that situation is hugely important. I think you could see the value in that for anybody, just the ability to quickly know that when your alert goes off, you don't have to ignore it because it's another false alarm. If your alert goes off, your blood pressure goes up because a situation's occurring. So that's another great question. I'm glad it was answered or asked, and I deeply appreciate everybody's time. So from this point, I will turn it over to Kasia from Intel. So Kasia, are you ready?
You bet. Okay, let's jump in here. Let me go ahead and share my screen. So I will go ahead and share my screen and we will get started. Okay, so hope everyone is having a great day, and thanks, Lee, for a great presentation. So I'm going to run into or talk about a little more deploying cost-effective video analytics. And of course, we've been working with AxxonSoft for many years now. They've been a great partner and adopter of OpenVINO, which I believe has helped really advance their analytics usage in the market, as well as a partner of our and a recipient of our Pandemic Innovation Fund earlier this year to help expand and accelerate their COVID analytics to help impact the pandemic. So we really appreciate their partnership there. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to go through it fairly fast. I'm going to talk about video analytics market trends. I'm going to talk about Edge AI with Intel, and then a little bit about our ecosystem. And then I'll give you some information at the end of where you can go find additional information as well. So we'll go ahead and get started. As Lee talked about, some of the analytics that are available on the market today are pretty amazing, from occupancy controls to assessing queues and groups and behavior. It's really transforming our lives, and some could say it's improving the quality. And I realize we're in the midst of a pandemic, so quality is an interesting word these days, but with that said, I think you look at public safety, or you look at worker safety, or optimizing productivity, or lowering costs, to saving lives, and really video analytics can address and impact all of these areas in advancing and improving the quality of our lives going forward. So AI is moving to the edge. We've been talking about this for about a year now, really. It's moving rapidly to the edge. I think, COVID really has accelerated the use of AI, and especially at the edge. I often say it's about diversification of the data, where the data is sitting, but also, where you're storing it, right, with the storage. We see a couple of drivers pushing data to the edge. One is the need for real-time results. Two is, edge intelligence can really help with bandwidth and storage and OpEx costs. And then the third is really, there are many cases where video does need to stay on-prem. So you need some on-prem, storage and processing and so forth. So those are three drivers that we see really pushing to the edge. And as you can see from some of these numbers, about 43% of the share of AI tasks are taking place on edge devices versus the cloud. That's estimated to be by 2023, but I think that's rapidly changing as we speak. And then, of course, 81% of computer vision developers are using neural networks. So the demand and the data usage is increasing. It's diversifying. So now you have the edge, you have the camera, which is your capture point, which may or may not be processing your analytics. Then you have your edge device that may be added as a layer to run additional analytics. And then, of course, you have your on-prem servers, depending on what you're wanting to do with the analytics and how you process those, as well as your storage. And then, of course, your cloud is an important component. So with all of those, we continue to see the movement happening at a rapid pace. I think we will continue to, obviously, into 2021 and through 2023. So we'll continue to see some rapid advancements there. But video analytics at the edge does have some challenges. In talking with partners and customers throughout the past few years, as the video market really has been transformed by the use of AI, and computer vision and deep learning, especially. There are some pain points around bandwidth, obviously, latency, and then, of course, some privacy concerns as well. So those pain points do need to be addressed as you're adopting solutions and looking at how you're going to use those in your environment. And obviously, many believe 5G will help in this particular realm, especially with latency. More to come on that, obviously, that we'll all be watching there. But then also creating an end-to-end vision solution and using computer vision really can require components from different providers. And so I think, as we look in the market, and I'll talk about this in a little bit, looking at your partners, right? I think there was a great question for Lee around partners. And while I think it's important for the development of video analytics in-house, but also working with partners to make sure solutions can be integrated easily for system integrators and ultimately end customers is really important. The third piece is really scaling and providing more predictive capabilities using edge analytics or, deep learning. And I'll talk a little bit more about what we're doing in that space to enable deep learning capabilities and processing at a better cost and performance envelope. And then the last thing is, turning that data into insights. I mean, we're really getting into a point where we can pull the data and make it more valuable, right? Cameras are capturing a lot of information. How do you take that data and turn it into business insights? It can be costly, to run video analytics at the edge. Historically has been very expensive. I think we're, as technology develops and innovates with AI, you'll see those costs come down, and they already are. And especially with partners like AxxonSoft delivering their capability, where you may not need additional compute capabilities to run those analytics. So that really is a cost saver right there. And then, of course, the having accurate results and being able to have higher confidence in those video analytics is certainly a challenge, but I see that getting better and better every day. Okay, so let's talk about deploying edge AI with Intel and some of the tools. We've seen a growing need for intelligence in general, specifically with deep learning. So we've developed a portfolio to enable, intelligent video systems from edge to cloud. We look at price, performance, power, form factor, environmental conditions, and then, of course, other requirements that may come into play from customers. We have a very broad portfolio in the industry to meet those needs. So if you look across, to start, on the left-hand side, we have Movidius. Some of you may know we purchased, Intel purchased Movidius a few years ago. Movidius is a solution that is a very low-powered device and processing unit that adds intelligence to the cameras. We also, in the middle, if you kind of go from left to right here, NVR's edge servers, AI boxes, and appliances have Atom, Core, and Xeon parts in there that you're probably familiar with. And then, of course, we do have Movidius based Accelerator cards as well. And then, of course, on the right-hand side for server and cloud, of course, we offer high-performance Xeon parts, which now have integrated deep learning acceleration. And it's called DL Boost, so I'll talk about that in a minute. And so really bringing that all together, Lee mentioned OpenVINO earlier, so I'll go into a little bit more about OpenVINO and why it's important, and especially in developing those edge analytics and to be able to do inferencing at the edge. We, in order to enable the portfolio I just talked about and really our architectures and the performance of those as well as the cost, we did introduce OpenVINO back in 2018. We've been ramping that in market, and the adoption of that has been very consistent with the developer community. It's not a bottle of wine, but Vino is short for visual inferencing and neural network optimization. So what does it do? It enables developers to really maximize performance for deep learning inferencing and also traditional computer vision from camera to cloud across Intel's edge product portfolio. So across our visual processing units, our CPUs, our integrated graphics, and of course FPGAs. So that provides ultimate ease of use for the developers. There's also improvement of efficiency and saving development time, right? So it allows developers to really write code once and then deploy to multiple types of Intel-based devices. And then, of course, OpenVINO does support, broad use cases. So digital surveillance, retail, robotics, healthcare, industrial machine vision, office automation, many use cases that it can apply to. And then, of course, the last thing, and I love this, is OpenVINO is free to download. So if you go and do a search on your favorite or go do a search on Google or whatever it may be. OpenVINO is free to download. So we've open sourced it to help scale and enhance the ecosystem. So you can go do a search for, Intel OpenVINO and go ahead and see the forum that exists and solutions that people have shared, et cetera. So I know, some of you may not be developers, but AxxonSoft is a great partner of ours who has adopted OpenVINO and utilized that to really advance and accelerate the development of their analytics. So now, it really is, a broad tool that's available, and it does really help bring down the costs of overall solutions. So you can now sell or acquire, intelligence at the edge, more affordably. So you may not need to send everything to the cloud, and it may not require higher end GPUs to get your deep learning performance. So I think that's great news for our partners as well as customers that are, purchasing products from our partners. So I mentioned DL Boost earlier, so I want to cover that a little bit here. We do have hardware acceleration called deep learning into our CPUs. So we've been developing that. It's called Deep Learning Boost. I won't get into the bits and bytes here because we don't have a lot of time, but it's a separate engine that allows you to get DL inference performance on your Xeon servers without having to add in accelerator cards. So this means you can, for applications that do require deep learning inference, you can use a standard COTS server and not add any cost or break service agreements or warranties adding a GPU card. So it gives great flexibility, and I think the important thing is it enables customers to have options based on what they need in their computing environment to run their video analytics. So on this particular slide, if you kind of start on the left, this is a prior gen Xeon running on an initial version of OpenVINO that did not have DL Boost. In the middle, you have the same processor, but with a newer version of OpenVINO, and we get about a 2.1x performance boost. So just just out of the gate, you get a performance boost. But on the right is, next gen Xeon scalable processor that has DL Boost running on a newer version of OpenVINO. So you see a 25.6x performance. So the capability here really is tremendous. You get massive performance improvements for deep learning inferencing through DL Boost, and it's available in standard Xeon offerings today. So they'll continue to be available on Xeon, and you'll also soon see it scale broader into our product portfolio as well. Okay, so I'll talk about Movidia. Won't go into much detail to give you on we acquired really primarily for their power efficient AI vision processing units. They deliver leading class performance in computer vision and deep neural network inference applications at a very low power, so sub 2 to 3 watts. So with that leading performance, power, and cost, it's really right sized to meet demanding workloads and numerous constraining factors. So this really gives you additional choice based on, again, as I mentioned, kind of that diversification of compute and what do you need to be able to run those video analytics, not only performance wise, but cost wise. And I'll talk a little bit more here about where Movidius is. So we do have Movidius in many solutions, and I mentioned the power capability. Is very efficient solution and cost. So if you look at if you are just using a CPU with DL Boost and it doesn't meet the workload performance requirements, you can utilize OpenVINO, but we've also created our Intel Vision Accelerator cards to help meet the needs. So if you need additional performance, additional DL performance, you can use a Vision Accelerator card. And so we worked with our ecosystem of hardware providers to develop the cards. Today, there's about 28 cards available in the market from at least 9 hardware providers. They range from, M.2 and MPCIe cards with, 1 to 4 myriad X's to up to 8 myriad X's. They offer a wide range of performance at various power and price levels. So again, it gives you that diversification and choice based on what you need for to run video analytics. And the power of the cards, ranges anywhere from 5 to 25 watts with 8 myriad X's. So pretty good power envelope there as well. And the cards are sold by the partners. So I didn't put pricing on here, but in general, the pricing ranges from about $70 on a single Myriad X M.2 card to $700 with 8 BPUs. So, gives you a good range based on that performance. And, we are seeing several companies in the security and surveillance market and other industries using the cards to meet their deep learning inference needs. So we're really looking forward to delivering more in the future there. I want to talk a little bit about our ecosystem. So we can't do this alone. Much of the development of the products and solutions that I've talked about for the market, we work with our partners to really scale and ramp those products into the market, and working with partners like AxxonSoft and Seagate. So we have a partner ecosystem of about 1,200 partners in our IoT Solutions Alliance. We have hundreds of solutions available today that are by use case. So if you're looking for situational monitoring, or you might be looking for more of a predictive maintenance in the industrial segment, or you might be looking for something in smart cities for traffic flow optimization, or specific to safety and security, we have solutions in those spaces through our Market Ready solution and RFP Ready Kit program. And with that, we've had about 15,000 deployments since 2018. So using a variety of Intel products as well as OpenVINO. So I'll kind of talk a little bit about AxxonSoft and Intel partnering. AxxonSoft has been using Intel Core and Xeon processors, plus the Vision Accelerator cards, which Lee mentioned earlier, and the OpenVINO toolkit. So of course, for fire and smoke detection that Lee talked about, personal protective equipment detection, as well as human vehicle detection as well, and behavior analytics. They've achieved greater performance per watt and lower cost per channel to deploy. So we've been really proud to work with AxxonSoft to help them innovate and accelerate delivery of their solutions into the marketplace. With that said, I want to wrap up here and give you a couple of areas to go check out if you're interested in looking at Intel's Edge AI product portfolio. I know these links are a little bit long, so you can also just do a search on your favorite browser that has Intel Edge AI product portfolio. Secondarily, if you're looking to partner with other partners like AxxonSoft, or you want to scope out what other solutions that may be available, you can look at our ecosystem partner site, which is called AI in Production. And then lastly, for those that may be interested in, they have solutions and they want to partner with AxxonSoft or come together in one of the Intel partner programs, you can visit marketplace.intel.com to check out the different partner programs that may fit your needs. But there's a little something for everyone. I'll go ahead and wrap it there. I want to thank AxxonSoft for having us on today, and I'll go ahead and hand it back to you, Lee. I think Seagate might be next. So thank you so much. And also, if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer any questions as well.
Well, thank you, Kasia. That was a great presentation. We deeply appreciate it, and we appreciate Intel and the partnership. Obviously, moving forward, we expect and predict great things between AxxonSoft and Intel. So all is good. Is there any questions?
No, actually, all the questions have been answered in writing, so we can proceed.
Okay, so we got Seagate coming up next. I don't know, Valorie or Jason, which one are y'all starting? Are y'all co-presenting? But you guys are on deck.
We are co-presenting. Let me go ahead and share our presentation. And hopefully you see this.
Yes, it's great.
Great, thank you. Yes, my name is Jason Benoit. I am the product marketing manager for Surveillance Solutions. And today I'm accompanied with Val Windsor, our North American business development for Surveillance. And first I want to thank AxxonSoft for inviting us to do this presentation with you both, with both AxxonSoft and Intel. So looking into today, Seagate is constantly thinking of new solutions for storage. And we know in today's discussion involving surveillance that storage is often overlooked. However, it plays a key role in surveillance today. So today, we're encouraging everyone to rethink data, and we're looking at addressing the growing needs of storage for video, security, and surveillance applications. So diving a bit into data, there's a huge explosion globally for the demand of storage. And this data is from media files to Word docs to important files such as video footage. And the latest IDC Data Age report predicts that by 2025, that 175 zettabytes will be created. And all this data needs to be stored somewhere, and that's where Seagate will help deliver for this demand. And currently, there is about 17 zettabytes installed, and Seagate will help support the remaining 158 that is needed. So as you can imagine, this growth creates several storage challenges involving IoT devices, video, metadata, and more. And without a comprehensive storage infrastructure, it'll become very challenging for the application to scale up in terms of growth. And the industry is looking to not only depend on one or two-tier architectures, but with the rise of edge, and this is where it brings, actually, let me go in here. And with the rise of edge, there is where it brings the data to the application, or in other words, for the data ingestion point to be processed quicker and monetized rather than waiting for the backend or cloud infrastructure. So enter Seagate. Why choose us? Because we're a storage industry leader that has been proven countless times. Currently, we're powering several known OEM brands, the largest cloud services, and hyperscale data centers. And we support new and upcoming global technology companies in the autonomous vehicle industry, telco, CDN, and media entertainment spaces such as AT&T, Tesla, Ford, Toyota, and Disney, and more. And Seagate is no longer just a component piece, and now we provide a solution together with our partner AxxonSoft, as well as even Intel too. So today, we provide a reliable portfolio of enterprise storage systems, and we supply leader storage systems from modular storage enclosures, hybrid arrays, to mass capacity storage platforms. Believe it or not, our systems are likely already in your data centers, and we are vertically integrated so that way you get the best tech quickly, and we'll continue to invest long-term into systems that provides a solid overall storage solution. Seagate solutions offer from edge to cloud when it comes to solutions. So we provide our purpose-built drives, Skyhawk and Skyhawk AI drives that are built specifically for NVR, DVR, and AI solutions for recording and analyzing footage, to storing data with our Exos X systems. And we also provide cloud solutions with our system that have Nitro SSDs and high-capacity storage with Exos, our HDDs, which can be used for deep learning analysis and storage retention. Next, we'll further discuss on our products and software partnerships. So I'll go ahead and pass the ball to Val. Val, go ahead and take it forward from here.
Great. Thanks so much, Jason. I wanted to start off with our two system solutions that Jason mentioned, our Exos E and Exos X storage systems. Our Exos E is used with software-defined storage, providing lowest cost per petabyte on the market. They're used for private cloud and data archive applications, as well as big data solutions. In a software-defined application, the customer stores their data as files or objects. In addition, these applications typically require petabytes of data storage. The Seagate Exos X is our solution for SAN. Our X series is industry proven with the highest IOPS per dollar on the market and is mainly used for IT applications like data backup, as well as media and entertainment and video surveillance. Customers are typically using block storage in these scenarios, and the capacity requirement vary from around 100 terabytes to 1 petabyte of storage. In the lower part of this slide, we're showing some of the file format software partnerships that we have worked with to complete the overall storage solution. Next slide. Great. And thinking about video surveillance solutions, we've identified 3 different scenarios where we believe the Seagate storage solution is a good fit. In the first scenario, where you have 500 cameras or less, we have customers using our JBOD storage with a server hosting the VMS like AxxonSoft. In this scenario, some installations will only require a single server with a JBOD, such as our 2U12, which accommodates up to 192 terabytes. In other cases, some customers will need to use multiple servers for the VMS and still utilize our JBOD as centralized storage. In this case, we can support with our JBOD and up to 3 expansion units for a total of 768 terabytes. For larger deployments of 1,000 cameras or more, and/or for longer retention requirements of, say, 6 months to a year, some customers have chosen a hyperconverged infrastructure configuration using our 4U106 JBOD for up to 1.7 petabytes of storage per node. In a scenario with multiple servers, they're using our JBOD with the expansion to provide centralized storage of up to 5.3 petabytes. In this case, we're showing our 5U84. We have some customers who need a private cloud solution. This is typical for larger deployments who also may have longer retention times. Seagate has partnered with several object storage software partners, as noted on the previous slide, for these types of solutions. Some ISV partners shown are Red Hat, Ceph, and SUSE. In the first configuration, they're using servers to host the object-based software with our 4U106 JBOD, which equates to 1.7 petabytes. In the second scenario, they've opted to use Seagate's 4U100 application platform, which has dual servers built in, and the object-based storage software resides on the built-in servers. Next slide. In regards to surveillance, my experience is that video and physical security solutions are mission critical. We believe the following should be key when considering the appropriate data storage solution. Scale. We've all experienced video camera technology enhancements, higher resolutions, higher frame rates, multi-sensor and panoramic cameras, and the need to physically add additional cameras to a facility. Also, add in that regulations change and retention requirements are also increasing. We feel it's important to think about whether your storage investment can scale and expand or grow as your needs increase. As noted, video surveillance is mission critical. Seagate has incorporated redundancy in our data storage systems to mitigate a single point of failure. Many systems used in the past and today are all-in-one MVRs or appliances. These solutions definitely have their place in the market, but we recommend customers weigh what risk a single point of failure may have to the business owner. As analytics and machine learning are implemented, they can have an impact on the storage workload. Our storage systems can accommodate these additional workloads with no negative impact to performance. And Seagate is the only storage system provider who provides a fully integrated solution. Because we manufacture the hard drives and the solid state drives, the chassis, as well as the controllers, we provide the only 100% integrated storage solution in the market, and therefore the lowest total cost of ownership. Next slide. To handle all these considerations, here at Seagate, we have a competitive edge we like to call SAFE. S is for optimized streaming. Seagate designed our own ASIC controller plus RealStream, which prioritizes video streaming. Our high throughput performance and low latency help to avoid drop frames and provides more consistent write throughput. A is for ADAPT technology. ADAPT is erasure coding technology, which enables self-healing and 90% faster rebuild times than traditional RAID. If you have a drive failure, the drive will rebuild faster and result in less downtime. And also you're able to increase your storage capacity with confidence knowing that you're protected. F is for first to market. As Seagate develops and releases new technologies and higher capacities, we incorporate these advancements in our storage systems first. So our partners have the latest and greatest in data storage technology. And E is for encryption. Our Seagate Secure portfolio encompasses our data protection technologies that also afford us security compliance designations like TAA, NDAA, FIPS 140-2, GDPR compliance, and common criteria. Our self-encrypted drives, which we've noted as SED, provide data at rest protection utilizing key management. If you're working with customers with higher data protection requirements, such as HIPAA or GDPR, et cetera, offering Seagate solutions with our Seagate secure drives may differentiate you from your competitors. And next slide. So what's next? Here are some key trends that are happening in the surveillance industry now. As surveillance customers are looking to private cloud solutions, software-defined and object-based storage is becoming more prevalent. This also allows customers to move into a multi-cloud environment easily, as most public cloud solutions are using object-based storage or S3 compatible. As the surveillance market is changing with more analytics and machine learning, higher retention requirements, more video data, customers need and should start considering their cloud strategy. In other markets, the trend is a multi-cloud strategy, only using public cloud for archiving, for example, but maintaining on-prem and or private cloud for near-term access. In our first few slides, we showed that data creation is growing at a tremendous rate. And as Jason noted, by 2025, the experts believe will reach 175 zettabytes, which, by the way, I had to look that up. And for those of you who don't know, because I was one of them, that means 21 zeros, which is a lot of zeros. Also, he noted that only 10% of that data today is projected to be stored. Seagate's goal is to help our partners to utilize the data that's being created and have that data work for you. This will be accomplished by a defined data lifecycle management program. Analytics and machine learning can tag and or identify data that is important to the business operation, as both AxxonSoft and Intel indicated previously. In the long term, some of this data may be more useful to the customer from a cloud solution, but how do they move their existing data from on-prem or legacy systems to the cloud? Seagate has a solution for you. We can assist you in mapping out a data lifecycle management program, move the data you may have on-prem, which also may be unstructured or requires some cataloging, to a cloud or centralized storage repository. Also, if needed, we can assist you in destroying data in a very controlled and secure environment. Personally, I'm very excited about the expertise and solutions Seagate is bringing to the physical security and video surveillance market. Seagate is not just a hard drive supplier. We are data flow experts. Again, analytics and machine learning are providing tools to the video surveillance industry, which can dramatically improve the operation of any business. This video data is valuable, and it's important you have a reliable and scalable storage solution to accommodate you today and your future growth. Next slide. We'd like to thank AxxonSoft for inviting Seagate to participate in this webinar. I've learned new things today, hearing from AxxonSoft and Intel. We hope that we were able to broaden the perception of your audience that Seagate is much more than just a hard drive supplier also. Thanks again for having us, and if there's questions, we'll try to answer them.
Thank you, Valerie.
Thank you.
So is there any questions?
All the questions have already been answered in writing.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we appreciate everybody that joined. I'd like to thank Intel and Seagate, Kasia, Jason, and Valerie. We value y'all's partnership deeply here at Axon, and we look forward to working with you guys more in the future. Like I said, we do appreciate everybody. We look forward to doing more joint calls like this. So if anybody needs any refreshers or whatnot, feel free to reach out. Once again, my name is Duncan with AxxonSoft. Our contact information went out with the invite, so feel free to reach out if you have any questions, or if you'd like to see a personalized demo of Seagate, Intel, or AxxonSoft, we'd be more than glad to provide that. We thank you very much for joining.